right. So I'm gonna do a quick thing right here, talking about like my favorite my current favorite list, which will probably forever be my favorite list of rappers. Because people ask me all the time who my favorite rappers are. And then I'm gonna also tell you why they're my favorite, and then I'm gonna go over who I think are the best. Because there's a difference between the best and my favorites. I'm gonna just kind of go through a little bit of this for Timo Tuesdays. So here we go. It's Timo Tuesdays. Of course, I'm not wearing my bandana today because I'm just chilling. I was just making some music. You know, people are messaging me on YouTube right now. But obviously, I'm listening to 50 right now, Position of Power. So we're gonna start with 50. 50 is obviously my favorite rapper. If you know me, you know many reasons I think he's the most influential rapper ever, besides maybe Pac and M. And even he can rival them if you think about it, because you have people like M, who's like, some people don't get into that lyricism shit, and they don't get deep into that, so they're like, M's like cool, but he's da-da-da, right? And then you have Tupac, and it's like, well, he's not lyrical enough, or they don't relate to that struggle, kind of, right? They don't kind of relate to his music, or it's too like preachy kind of shit for them, or it's too slow, or whatever, you know, so they only like 5-10 of his songs, you know, like California Love. They probably know if Brenda's Got a Baby, probably don't really listen to it. They probably know, like, you know, Changes, of course. They probably know, you know what I'm saying? But they don't really know. But for 50, it's like he has a 19-song first album, the best debut album in rap ever to date, still today, and has gone 13 times platinum, and is officially 9 times platinum, is about to be 10 times platinum, which, if you don't know, that means it's diamond. And there's only 9 rappers / groups, because Outkast and Beastie Boys, I believe Beastie Boys has one, I want to say. I could be wrong about that. I know MC Hammer has one, Biggie I think has one, Pac has one / 2, because he has a greatest hits one, but we don't really count that. Eminem has 2, he's the only person with 2 besides Pac, but he has the greatest hits. You know, so 50 Cent will be the 10th person / rap, 10th thing in rap, right? The 10th person in rap to have a diamond album officially certified. And unofficially it's been 13 times platinum. So 10 times platinum, right now it's 9 times, almost 10 times, it'll hit that. So that already puts him better than Jay-Z, better than Nas, you know, number-wise. So if you're like, oh, by numbers, 50 Cent has the best debut album, he's gonna be one of the only people to go diamond ever in rap. And in music, that's also pretty kind of hard to do anyway. He also reminds me a lot of just like my dad, and a lot of shit kind of like I've been through. A lot of people don't know exactly what I've been through, and I don't talk about it. So kind of in my music, it'll come out someday, but like right now, a lot of people don't know. So it is what it is. This is obviously the next person, and this is just my random playlist, but this is Eminem. This is actually Hobson's favorite verse by Eminem, is the first verse of Role Model, and this verse is dope. But Eminem is my second favorite, although I think he's a better rapper than 50 Cent in like a lyricism, kind of like real rapper way, while still being enough of like entertainment wise that layman's will get it and kids will like it, because they'll be like, well, that's crazy, he said that shit, but it'll still be like, it'll sound better than just anyone else with the shock factor. And then on top of that, real battle rappers and shit are like, oh, he said that and that at the same, you know what I mean? So he has that lyricism behind that, because he writes so fucking much. But 50 has the best choruses, best fucking sales, fucking amazing marketing and social media still to this date, and still keeps in the eyes of people. And 50 Cent is why I say I didn't go over this, I guess, why he's more inspiring than like any other rapper besides, like I said, maybe Pac, maybe M, is because Lil Wayne was inspired by 50 Cent. A lot of people say Lil Wayne's one of the best rappers ever. He's my third favorite. We'll go over that in a second. But if you think about it, he inspired Lil Wayne with his mixtapes and how many mixtapes he was putting out and how he was doing it. Then Lil Wayne kind of did a similar thing, made it his own way, but he got inspired from 50 to do that. On top of that, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, he had 50 Cent's kind of like rules to success that he wrote down, that 50 Cent kind of like taught him, or that he learned from 50 Cent, and that's still considered Kendrick's best album to date. So he was inspired heavily by 50 Cent around that time, and to even kind of start rapping by 50 Cent in general. Same with Kendrick, same with Big Sean, and Big Sean talks about it, Chief Keef talks about it. So you have the biggest people today, Wayne, Kendrick, Drake, Cole, Big Sean, right, Hobson, Joyner, all inspired by 50 Cent. Well, Joyner, I don't know, he doesn't talk about it, but I know he's inspired by Eminem, so he's kind of, they go hand in hand, right? Hobson has pictures of Eminem and 50 Cent all over, so, I think he likes Eminem a little bit more, but, that's the thing, though, is, like, he's inspired all these amazing people, and he's also inspired some kind of, like, in-the-middle people that are cool, like Chief Keef, but then Chief Keef himself inspired people like Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, fucking basically all the new people that are out now that are completely garbage to some people and are amazing to others. You got 6ix9ine, Yachty, all these motherfuckers. And these people will go on interviews and say, oh, I don't like Tupac. I don't really fuck with Biggie. I don't fuck with that old shit. But you have people from Eminem himself being like, 50 Cent made me want to quit rapping because he was so good. Then down to like Kendrick, Drake, Wayne, the people that are on top right now. Well, Wayne's kind of like, now it's kind of past the Drake, but he's still fucking big, right? They're all inspired with 50 Cent. And then you have the younger people, like my generation, like kind of like, Hobson and shit like that. We're in the same generation as Wayne technically, but, Wayne's the older millennial, Hobson's kind of like the in the middle millennial, and I'm kind of like the young millennial, right? So that's kind of different shit. And then on top of that, you have, then the people that are younger than us that might even already have blown up, like I said, like Chief Keef, who then have inspired other people. So you have, Chief Keef, Future, all these other fucking people, Migos. They're kind of 3 sounds, plus Wayne, so like Wayne, Future, Migos, and fucking like Chief Keef inspired like all the kids that are out today. So it was like, you have all these people that are big were inspired by 50 Cent, whether they're good or bad, whether they make club music, whether they make street music, whether they make fucking just crazy entertainment music, whether it's DaBaby, whether it's 6ix9ine, whether it's Chief Keef, whether it's Lil Wayne, whether it's Eminem himself. They were all inspired by 50 Cent. That's why I say he's the biggest inspiration ever, because most people would be like, Pac's good, until you get to like Chief Keef. He's probably like, I don't know if you really fuck with Pac, but I know people after him don't, for some reason, right? They're like, he's boring, whatever, da-da-da. So Pac didn't inspire them, but 50 inspired them, and 50 inspired people in his own generation, being like Em and Wayne and all them, and the next people that are up now, and the next people that are gonna be up, Hobson, Joyner, and then people like me and shit that are gonna be up after that, and then the people that are kind of up now, like Young Boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I say he's the most inspirational. Also, just he hits me hard. And then you have, like I said, M, very similar thing. He's more of a lyricist, kind of tells kind of like stories and shit. But if you think about a lot of the shit 50 Cent said, though, like fucking Suburban Places never heard of that shit until 50 Cent, because he never had music that popular that was that good until he came, and he was on top, the fucking king for the longest time, and to me he still is, always be. So that's it. Like I said, Eminem's pretty similar, just kind of like the more lyrical side of shit, and kind of like the other side. And I've had, kind of goods and bads in my life that have kind of been through this side and this side. So like, being from kind of both sides, I can kind of see the 50 Cent story and the Eminem story together in a way. Not saying like Eminem came up, like he started up here, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't rich enough, but they went through different struggles, right? A lot different. One had to like sell drugs and motherfucking pull guns on people, and the other one was like, I'm just broke, fuck, what do I do? And instead of selling drugs, he's doing drugs. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of different stories, but similar kind of struggles. So I kind of have gone through kind of both sides of that. Then you have Lil Wayne, who just recently, I said, I put him as my 3rd favorite, because it takes me a very long time to pick someone as my favorite. Before that, I was like, maybe DMX, maybe G-Eazy, because I have to know, and how I'm going to get into kind of like why I pick my favorites, and I have to know like your story, I have to know about you as a fucking person, I have to resonate with you, I have to resonate with your struggle, I have to resonate with your music, I have to know a lot of your music to where you can put on an album, and I can name every single song on that album in order without listening to it, and then I'll be like, yeah, you know what, that guy is my favorite, that guy is my favorite. So 50 Cent, it's like, I can say the whole shit, you know what I'm saying, every fucking lyric to his fucking first album, second album, third album, pretty much. Eminem, first album, we'll say what, Slim Shady LP, then Marshall Mathers LP for sure, Curtain Call, yes, Encore, yes, Relapse, yes, but with 50 Cent's first 2 albums, can't even throw in his 3rd one if you want, is better, in my opinion, than Eminem's 5, even though I love Eminem and I think he's a better rapper, I think 50 Cent's just better overall for me, and just as an entertainer and as an artist, you know, that's just how I feel. But Wayne, he just kind of, I love how he just kind of doesn't really write necessarily. He just kind of gets on there, kind of like Tory, kind of like Jay, kind of like Big, you know. So I kind of have been doing that with my recordings lately, and just fucking around. Actually, the Glory remix coming out, which I think it might come out like when this video is coming out. Dude, it's so fucking nasty. Like, it just shows what kind of Wayne taught me, you know what I mean? And he's amazing, you know. So recently I've been watching a lot of his interviews, a lot of his kind of, you know, going through his albums and old shit that I never heard, and, you know, underground shit, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I've learned a lot about him. So now officially he's my third, you know? So that's kind of my three favorites, why they're my favorites, why I picked them, and why I think they're so inspirational, you know. 50 Cent in a way kind of needs more explanation, but once you think about it, you're like, you know what, yeah, it's fucking true. Eminem doesn't really need explanation, and Wayne also kind of doesn't need explanation. And that's the weird thing, is 50 Cent, like, you kind of need to explain because he's only had a couple albums, but the couple, like, he could have dropped his first album and been like, done. Better successful rap career than T.I. if T.I. was still around for another 10 years. Like, so this whole 50 Cent T.I. thing, it's like, it's done, bro. Fuck out of here, bro. And then, I don't know, bro. Like, you couldn't name 20 rappers better than 50, Pac, Big, M, or Wayne, but I could name 20 rappers better than Q, Snoop, T.I. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, bro. That's just how it is, I guess. But yeah, those are my favorites. That's why I'm probably gonna cut this up a little bit because it's a little long. But yeah, look out for that Glory Read by Me, and that shit, bro, I'm telling you, that shit is crazy. It's fucking nuts. It might be a little bit longer than the normal ones, but fuck it. Timo Tuesdays.